I'm touching on two major points, the paid content problem and Serum, which is not talked about at all and I urge you to listen even if it's skipping to the timestamp. I've had some time to sort of digest the nuggies of info, and if you aren't aware, Kuro has released plans on how they will be doing their paid and free-to-play reward systems. To put it in a R&D pack, paid people from low to whales are not happy, but if you're free to play, you're eating pretty good. Essentially, paid things are getting no discounts or adjustments to the things you pay for, and the item quantities are mostly staying the same. The bigger problem is that the spenders will need to buy 2 times or 3 times the amount every patch they were originally to get what we've already been getting. That really fucking sucks. Now, as a knee-jerk reaction and one that doesn't know or have thought of everything, my first instinct is to have things be discounted at an increased rate each time you buy, or to have more rewards be given each new pack as to help offset that double or triple in cost. I think that would be fairest for people like dolphins and low spenders and somewhat leak into whale territory. But personally, I'm a bit less caring about whales as a whole, as if you're already whaling out, you probably don't need to worry about certain expenses compared to dolphins or BP spenders. I think of it along class lines, and typically whale people are much better off, while lower spenders are okay, but this is their way of making an effort to support their favorite gacha game or devs even if it's at a smaller scale. Their contributions shouldn't be ignored. I think Kuro should cater most heavily to free-to-play, which they have done already, and lower spenders because if you lose chunks of those spenders, I do not think whales will offset that loss. Low spenders have much more to lose, I think, where whales can still largely get things they want. Again, I see this as looking out for the core of the community, and I believe in every gacha game, free-to-play and low spenders are the core, and that they should be looked out for the most. Now, hang on. I have seen that people will say, if you discount, this will be seen as unfair to the other servers as they didn't get those discounts. To that argument, I say, you haven't been neglected for these past years, and you aren't getting compressed as a result. We are, and since this is their way of dealing with it, I would find it most fair to the players that there be some kind of adjustment made most specifically for low spenders. I don't think anyone is generally asking for massive discounts either, more so that there is an inequity of content to payment and people want to see this inequity solved. If you were in our position, you would rightfully be pissed you would need to pay 2 or 3 times the amount for the same things. I think the BP stuff in my opinion is the worst of it, as that is where most spenders tend to teeter and stay. I think it's unfair that since the launch of this game, Global has had to be at the beck and call of another server's schedule where our feedback has mostly been not heard as things have already been decided from the start. We've just been following the tracks that have been laid out. Who's also to say too that Kuro won't see your feedback and decide to give some kind of discount or compensation to help offset that unfairness? While that isn't a guarantee, us global players never would have thought this speed up would have been possible, and I think other servers getting relative discounts is way more feasible than us having gotten a global compression affecting a year's worth of content in an entire server. And we got that. So if by some miracle Kuro can implement some better way to not severely hinder low spending players, I believe they would be open to listening to your grievances. I think at the end of the day we're all people trying to live and enjoy this game, and we should be supporting each other. Other servers could help by advocating for a more consumer friendly plan, and Global could help by advocating that the other servers get a discount in line with what was given to us. From that point on, we all move on as equals. There's no need for any animosity or bad blood. As a final discussion point that everyone has overlooked, it's that very last point on the new A-rank characters. I'm still worried about Serum, and this still has me worried. Quote, a maximum of 320 inverse shards for each new A-rank character of the current integrated version can be earned through these missions, which will revolve around specified serum consumption targets within this version. I mentioned in my previous video about the compression that serum was a problem because if we're getting 2 or 3 times the content, how will stamina work in getting stuff? This has not alleviated that thought, and I will be fucking annoyed if they are wanting us to spend BC to refill Serum, because that, paired with the paid content stuff, will just rub everyone wrong, and the paid content section is already putting things in a hard position. So I'm begging Kuro to have more ways to get Serum reserves, whether that's through free BP stuff integrated into daily missions, or it can be bought within an event tab up to an appropriate limit, or whatever else they can think of. But let me know first off what you think of the plan as a whole and what you're planning to do, like if you're planning to continue spending or not. Also, most importantly, give your feedback not just to me, but give that shit to Kuro, and do it sooner than later. Now is literally the time for it. But what are your recommendations that you have that will fix this? I appreciate you, thank you for letting me take your time, and be safe out there.